What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Bianconeri Zone for another daily news video. Post, I don't even know what to call that performance, but post Europa League failure. I'm not gonna talk really about the ins and outs of the game because there will be a live after this, so go watch that or join, whatever. I'm gonna talk about Di Maria in particular because of yesterday's game and because what he said in an interview. But please like this video, subscribe to the channel as always, and hit that bell notification. Now, the title of the show is Keep Di Maria. Now, that will spark a discussion, a good one to have, because I remember at the start of the season when we were trying to sign him, it was kind of split, you know? You had people saying, I think it was split in three ways. You had people saying, no, absolutely don't do it. But there were no real alternatives at that moment in time for the money we had. Then there were people like me who said, sign him 1 year. That's good. That's great. Do it. Don't think twice about it. Just sign him up for a season, basically. And then see how it goes. Maybe the following season, this summer, you have some funds, which looks unlikely. And then you had the third part of the fan base, like Julian, who was like, yeah, but very doubtful about his commitment to the club pre-World Cup and post-World Cup. Now, I think it flipped. I think post-World Cup, he looks more committed. If you want to say he wasn't committed in the first part of the season, he looks very committed, you know? So I think that's something we can put away. I always said he will be very professional because that's who he is. There was no signs that he was going to throw his toys out of the Prem. You know, there was no signs of that. He's a very professional player. He is, for me, one of the most underrated player in the last, 20 years because he's a top player. He's always has been a top player. And maybe he got disrespected a little bit or just forgotten a little bit. But his numbers, the big moments he shows up, he's the clutch player. He's just talent, pure talent. So that's that. Now, the question is, should we keep him? Because we are letting a lot of people are going midfield and especially at the back. Up top, it's probably Di Maria who's going to walk on a free, and that's about it, you know? So do you have the funds or the funds basically to replace everybody who's going to leave at the back and midfield and also replace Di Maria? Or are you like, I'm sorry, but that backline is a shambles, which I agree, which I think, I think it's very poor, the backline. It's very, very average, and I'm trying to be nice here. It's not good, and I still have issues with midfield, but whatever. So the question is, do you keep him for another season? I think the more we move towards the end of the season, I'm going to say yes. Because talent-wise, like pure talent, there's no one close in our squad to him. Like just pure talent where you're like, it's not hard work or like that's why he's just pure talent. He is by far the best player, the most talented player in our squad. Then you have a tier below, which is Chiesa, who is talented, but that's a different level. Maybe you can include Vlahovic, and then it kind of dries up in the squad. Like this squad there's not a lot of pure talent in that squad. You have some good players, you have some very bad players or average players, but pure talented players, not many, and that's a big problem because yesterday he is a key player for us. Like it's as simple as that. I don't know what we're trying to do this season, whatever you want to call what we're doing, but he is a big part of that. Like he just is, because the way he holds up to the ball, the way he links up play, the way he does his own thing, it's just unbelievable. Like it's unbelievable. It's a pleasure to watch, and he's a key player. And he talked about two things in the interview today. The first one is very relevant because he got subbed yesterday, and I think everybody at that moment in time was like, "What the hell are you doing? Like you just can't sub him off now because he's playing well." And if you need a moment, it's him. Like he's gonna bring that moment. He's gonna have that spark. So he said yesterday I felt something. Allegri asked me how I was doing. I said I could do it. He added, like always, because apparently that's kind of a thing they have going. You know, some at some point in the game they will ask Di Maria, "How are you doing?" He said, uh, he, he said, I said I could do it, but he stopped me off anyway. I didn't really feel good about it. I talked to him today. He told me he wanted to take care of me for bigger games that are coming. From my side, this is understandable. So we understood it, but this is a scenario we're in where we're chasing a game and Allegri is like, I can't risk it, you know, because we know he has a certain lifespan in a game for certain games. And I think Allegri knows, like, he is that guy. Like, if we lose him this season, it's going to be very, very tough. It is. So that's the situation we're in. Going back to, I think there's very little talent in this squad that we need to, or Allegri needs to think like this, where you're like chasing a game, but he in the back of his mind is like, we still have big games, we still have next week away to Nantes. I cannot risk him. Sub him off. Like that's, I don't want to say positive, but that speaks volume about his talent and his importance. But the flip side is that also speaks volumes about how this squad is built, talent wise. When you need to think about this, and it's just February, like it's not March or April, and you're in all competitions, and you are like, I need to keep everybody fresh. Like it's still March, you know. It's not a good sign. It's a very bad sign in my opinion, you know. And it's a very worrying situation. It is, you know, for the way our team is built and also moving forward. Now, the biggest question is, does he want to stay? Now, I believe if we offer him a deal, I am gonna say he's gonna say it's 50. It's 65%. Excuse me. It's 60% yes, 40% no. I think that's what I believe at this moment in time. But he is not in talks. That's what he said. So he was asked about it. He was asked about his future in general. He said, I have no preference. I'm happy here. The club is having several problems in recent times. There's not much talk about a renewal. Saying, he's basically pointing out that, you know, the club's going through some difficult times. So we're not talking about renewal. Keep that in mind. That goes for signings as well. Like, it's very hard to focus on signings when the club's going all through this mess. Like, it's a very weird situation. It is. But we talked about it. He said, I haven't talked to Juve or any other club. I think only about playing and proving my worth each and every game. Now, this is mindset. This is his mindset. But I also think it's a mindset of a lot of other players, because the future at the club is very, very doubtful. We don't know anything about points deductions, sentences, money. We have no idea. Like, players at the club are a bit worried. They should be worried. But imagine players who are trying to sign. Like, they are probably thinking, not sure what's going on at the club. Like, what's gonna happen here? You know, are we gonna build a team? You know, is there a certain future? What's gonna happen with the points? And what about this? And what about that? Like, it's very unknown. So, if it's already difficult to engage in negotiations for a new contract, then imagine signing new players. Now, that being said as well, if you're not in talks now, it's February, I think at this moment in time you already should be feeling out, like, do you want to say, like, is it an option? On what does it depend? Does it depend on getting you Champions League football? I think at this moment in time, around this time, you need to start, you know, as a club, to feel it out and basically see what is Di Maria's plan. Like, what is he planning to do? What does he think about all of this? Because you need to know. Like, you need to be prepared. You cannot come in May and then be like, oh, but Di Maria's not staying. What now? We also need to add another winger, whatever you want to call it, in this formation to the list. That cannot happen, you know, in May or whatever, March. It needs to start now, you know, around this time, because the season is going into a clear direction, in my opinion, where we're going, so you can have those talks about what is needed for you to stay. I don't think money. I think more about, you know, goals for the club, you know, Europe, Serie A, all those things. I think that's a big difference maker in this on all this. But again, a lot of people will probably say no, just let him go. That's fine, but we need to replace him and a lot of other guys. So it's going to be a very difficult task for the club either way, keep or sell, you know. But thanks for watching. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and join for the live or rewatch live, whatever fits you. Ciao. We will see you back on tomorrow. Tomorrow there will be a preview for a Spezia game. Ciao.